Hello, how are you? Welcome to the Curious Mind of Raquel Carter. I had been wanting to do this for quite a long time, and I shared a bit of it on my Instagram stories today about me having this Patreon, right? And I also wanted to include quite a clutch of things for the Stillwater, which is a trademarked Stillwater a Petticoat Society, which I named, and it's sort of a reawakening of what Tasha Tudor used to do. And so we're going to have lots and lots of fun activities, and like Eastertide is coming up in April, and we'll be having that at a beautiful plantation Victorian home, and we'll have egg salad sandwiches and Eastertide, all those sort of fun Victorian things. But today I wanted to share with you a little crafting idea, and it is very much what the Victorians used to do when they would make the handmade Valentine's cards. But I thought it would be fun to chat about with you and prattle on a bit while I'm making these cards, because I just think it's fun to do that, and I want you to get to know me a bit more. And so I thought, while I'm crafting and got my little cute little shears with me, I thought what we would do is have a little chat while we make paper dolls. And I've got another little paper doll, and you see here, can you see this? This is the Little Mermaids. We've got a beautiful little queen one. Can you see that? Look at that, how charming that is. And I found the little, now I know, I'm not quite sure that they would have these in the Victorian era. I'm not quite sure how they used to do it, but these are little brads I found at the crafting store. So I'm kind of, in a way, sort of, you know, cherry picking my different things about the Victorian era, which I think it will be all right, because I'm going to try and stick with, you know, instead of a glue gun, I'll use, you know, regular, you know, glue that you would make with flour and water. But some of the things I'll kind of skimp on, and I'll kind of use a bit of mermaid magic on them, let's just say that, might we? And but I thought this would be so charming. Is, like I said, it's a little Victorian mermaid, and she's got like a little corset on and shells in her hair with a little, it's a shell crown. And although, albeit it is a paper doll, I wanted to make these for my friends, because I have several friends, mer friends, that really love mermaids. And so I thought this would be fun to put this in the post and have my raven carriers carry it on to their houses and their little cottages and abodes where they live. And I thought that they might enjoy that a bit. So we're going to get on with it. Now, oh, let me show you one other thing. Now, this is another little paper doll. Now, she will just be glued together. She will not have brads on her. She's just going to be glued together. And I've got several other ones, and these will be available for you if you want to copy this off. To, you know, if you join the Patreon, obviously, if you're here, well, no, that's not true, because this one's going on the YouTube, because I wanted you to have a bird's eye, should I say bird's eye or mermaid's eye view of what we're going to be doing, fun things. Obviously, it's not just crafting things, you know, for Stillwater, but it's also for the fun projects that I have going on about at my folks', I call it my folks' house, but what it is I'm in the process of purchasing my parents' home, and that's how Patreon and my patrons will be able to support my efforts in creating the Carter settlement. And so, like I said, I'm in Scarlet Rose Cottage right now. This was a project that, let me just give you a background story, because I haven't talked to you quite a long time. You know, I think it's been since 2020. When I first originally did the Patreon introduction, but just time got away from me. You know, then we had the pandemic, And I felt very, very overwhelmed at that time because I was having a bit of a go. Obviously, listen, my son passed away in 2019, mid 2019. So then when I moved here, and you know, I was still, I mean, it was still very, very fresh. And so I think I just had a lot going on emotionally. I needed to gather my senses about me and try to heal. But I tend to have almost that, I don't know if you're like this, but I tend to have that kind of personality to where it's like when even tragic things or minor things happen to me, I just kind of just keep going and push through it, you know, and it's like pushing a wet noodle sometimes. And I'm like, it's not really going to work too well this time because I've changed so much emotionally, psychologically, I'm just in all manners of my life, you know. And so whereas I did work and I got pretty much, we're nearly at finishing this Scarlet Rose cottage for what I can do with it at this point in the game. But there's other things, there are still some more things, you know, that will be more like decorative aspects. You know, the cottage on the outside is painted, but I still, like for instance, I still want to, you know, stain the whole thing. I want to put a thatched roof on it. I also want to change out all the doors. Well, there's one set of doors here, and I also want to put different antique windows in there. So I have the antique windows, but I have yet to put them in. But I'm going to do that process with you. And I have the, what do I have? Yeah, so you can't see it right now, but I will show a video that I put the wood floors in. My dad obviously helped me a bit. With showing me the ropes of like how to use a saw and how to use, you know, a miter box and how to use a brick cutter, and how I was able to put, you know, the bricks down for the hearth where the stove goes. And I still have to do the stove portion of it. You know, there's just minor bits and pieces that I've really got to work on. This weekend, Jeffrey Sean, Captain, you know, who is the one behind the camera, he is going to put in, and you can't see it here, but if you can see, like I'm pointing right here, see my gorgeous roses that my darling got me for the Valentine's. Jeffrey Sean got me those for Valentine's, red roses. He knows I love them and I always dry them, so we're always getting, you know, the most benefit out of them. But yeah, so the tub, my clawfoot tub I got, finally I manifested my clawfoot tub. And who would have known I had such resistance to a clawfoot tub, but obviously I did. But anyway, last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, yeah, it's been 2 weeks now, I was actually able to manifest it within like 12 hours. And I had this like moment of clarity, which was very, very nice. And you know how that is when you finally realize, oh, this is what's preventing me from this particular manifestation, right? Or demonstration of you know, receiving something that we desire. But anyway, yeah, so my dad had to, you know, fix one of the clawfoots on it, and then I've got to clean it up, and then I'm going to add a gold finish to the claw feet. And I'm very excited about that. So that will be this weekend on the, and I'll have this all recorded for the Patreon, because I think it will be really lovely for you to watch as we progress with this. Because now, mind you, there's so much work to do. There's so much landscaping, so many things. And then I've also got my books going on, you know, Sawyer's book, The Tale of Sawyer Lamb. Let's have a chat about that, because I wanted you to know, you know, there was a long time that I really, I think because it was such a special place in my heart for, you know, having the book published, that I have so many of these expectations for the book. But I finally realized that it's not about, you know, accolades for, you know, from the public or anything like that, but it's really for me, and it was a gift to my son. And it was also a gift to myself, because that book was very healing for me. And now I've gotten very busy on the illustrations, which for a long time there, you guys, I was very much stumped because I felt there was blocking. And it necessarily, I wouldn't say it was blocking. Now that I recognize what it was, I believe it was because it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't the right time for me, because I had so many, you know, so much pain in my heart at the time, and I was trying to work through it, but doing it in a way that was very unfeeling. You know, there's sometimes that when you go through such trauma like that, whereas that was a beautiful gift that I feel Sawyer gave to me, is to help me to be inspired to write that book for whatever reason. And obviously because that's how I've always healed with my pain. I mean, healed pain of mine, or anything to make sense of my life, is through my writing. And I had never thought that it would be a book, you know, that I would write and it would help me to heal for my son. And so it was such a lovely gift. And obviously dedicate the book to my dear boy Sawyer. And I'm so looking forward to all of those beautiful events that we'll have. And I'm going to attempt to do it like a press release for the local television stations for the book and everything. And so that's, I'm hoping to plan for April, but I'm not going to commit myself to it. You know, I'm going to allow things to naturally occur. And I think that that's the best thing. And so everything will work according to how it's supposed to. And I feel very, very true to nature when I say that. And I know that everything works to our best interest, you know. But yeah, so should we get on with it? Now, obviously many of the things, like I decided, now I used to have a card that was just like this, but it had lace on it, and it was lace shaped. So what I'm planning to do is, I saw this in a beautiful online or something, and I don't know if it was in an antique store or if it was online in an antique store or Etsy, but I love this, and I thought it would be so charming to take and paint one of these beautiful doilies gold, and then I'll put the pretty angel in between there. Jeffrey, will you hit that? Jeffrey, say hello. Jeffrey's behind the camera. Captain Jeffrey Sean Stafford.
Jeffrey's behind the camera.
Yes, Jeffrey's helping me with camera. So he's been very beneficial. But anyway, so yes, this is what I'll do, is take this. Don't you think that would be cute, Jeffrey? Is to cut this out with the, what do I have here? I've got my X-Acto knife. You got an X-Acto knife, make sure the blade's really, really sharp on it.
Very sharp.
Very sharp. And then I'm going to delicately cut out the pretty little cherub angel. And then I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to hand, what do you call that stuff, Jeffrey?
Stencil?
No, it's like the gold leaf. I want to gold leaf one of these doilies, paper doilies like this. And then I think cut that out, and wouldn't that be really lovely to put the angel in there, and then do like some kind of backing. Oh yeah. And then also what I thought would be really, really cute is to take these and also paint these, which are just things you can find in your cabinet, you know. These are little muffin tin things. But if you spread these out, you guys, you can actually take and paint these as well. You could do it with a spray paint. The crafting store has lots of those things. Or you could do it with it like a paintbrush, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Do you think it would
spray paint would be much easier?
It would be much easier. So get like a doled out, like an antique gold or something, and maybe like an antique silver, and then you could put that behind it, and like it would fan out. Oh yeah. Wouldn't that be so pretty? And then we could add some kind of these. They're pipe cleaners, but people used to use them all the time, like in the Victorian era, for like Christmas ornaments and things like that. And then also, what was I going to say? I've got some stencil over there, some lace, even some antique lace if you want to do one for like a special person, you know. And then also some, can you see this? Well, I guess I don't want to catch my hair on fire, but like these are antique little vintage that you can get on Etsy sometimes. Like people will sell these in the little clutch of, you know, but these are delicate, and I think they would be pretty if you like snipped off
It
the
looks
top.
so real too.
Yeah, and like how pretty is that? Just, you know, the little, flatten it out and everything. You could even use, I mean, sneak. Don't tell the Victorians we're doing this, but you could sneak and glue gun it, okay?
Yeah.
And then send it in the post with your raven carriers to your lovely friends, right?
Yes.
And although I know it's Valentine's is over, but you could actually use this episode, right, for next year, or you could even do it for like Mother's Day. You could do the same thing.
Yeah, it don't have to be Valentine's Day.
No. And also, guys, I have these where I've got these printed off, and there's different, can you see them? There's different ones like flowers, and there's butterflies. And you could use these for like Mother's Day, would be lovely to make.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to come back to you in a little while after I've got the one card finished. And then obviously we will find some kind of poetry verses or something like that in books, antique books. You could go online. I'm sure you could find some things there too, couldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you have a library of pretty.
Or come up with your own. Even.
Or come up with your own, yeah. Especially if you're a writer out there, right? All right. All right. I love you guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Tables.
Happy Valentine's Day. Cheers.